Hi everyone, it's Eva with a new Sims 4 speed build. Today I've got something quite extraordinary for you, namely a post-apocalyptic shelter. This was mainly inspired by the video game The Last of Us, which finally, after many years of waiting, released the second part last week. I haven't played it yet, so please no spoilers. But yeah, I absolutely loved that game when I played it, and in general I'm quite a big fan of zombie apocalypse stories, like The Walking Dead for example, before the writing went down the drain. I just love the atmosphere and just the thought of having to live like that, although I would probably be one of the first people to die in a zombie apocalypse because I have zero survival skills and I can't run, so... But yeah, with this build I can at least live in an apocalyptic camp in The Sims. And building this was so much fun. I actually loved doing something completely different to normal builds, and I loved the fact that I could make the place look run down and not perfect as I usually do, but with lots and lots of garbage and broken houses and items. Some of the big objects, like the broken buildings that I used, come with the Get Famous expansion pack, because if you're in the acting career, you can do a post-apocalyptic part, and these like building fronts and the broken library are part of the set for that role. But the big building and everything else I built from scratch. I actually got some inspiration for the main building on Google, where I found a drawing of the Flatiron building in New York City with trees growing out of it. I'll insert a picture of it right here. And I really liked the look of it, so I decided to go for a similar style. So I built a couple of small buildings behind the facades of the apocalyptic houses, and obviously the main building, and then I made them look broken and run down. For example, there are some walls missing, and I put these rock piles from Get Together everywhere where there's like walls missing to make it look like they actually crumbled and are not just like deleted by me. Yeah, I put some holes in roofs and lots of vines growing on them and plants and whatnot growing out of the roof spaces. And something that was really fun to do was make the edges of the main building look rough, like a part of the building just broke off. I see this building as the headquarters of the shelter. All over that building there are sporadic bits of furniture on every floor, like a little living room up top, a kitchen, a gardening section, and so on. Oh yeah, and by the way, the lot is set as off the grid because I figured there is no electricity and running water in an apocalypse, so I used only objects that you Sims can use with the off the grid function. And I'm so glad that there's a section in the buy catalogue now for off the grid items, because that was so handy. So yeah, the idea for this build is there's a broken house at the front which functions as like a lookout for zombies that you can only reach via a long ladder so they can't get up. I even put like machetes from Jungle Adventure there to make it look more realistic. Then there's a connection from the lookout to the main building with the social and skill areas that I mentioned. And then there's another connection to a couple of smaller buildings where we have like the sleeping arrangements and a medical room for, you know, serious zombie bites or an apocalypse baby, who knows, and a bathroom area. By the way, I built this all over the place, not really from room to room like I normally do, which is why I keep going back and forth between certain parts. I did not plan this at all. I don't think it's easy to plan a build like this, so yeah, that's why I just went with the flow, and that's why the filming is a bit all over the place. I is very sorry. So for all the rooms, I tried to use scruffy and simple furniture, nothing that looks too new or nice. For example, the sofa and armchairs are the self-made looking ones from Eco Lifestyle, and the kitchen counters and oven are from City Living, from the cheap apartments, so they don't look too nice, they literally look like they belong there. And then the beds are from Outdoor Retreat. In general, Outdoor Retreat came in super clutch for this build. There are a lot of items that work perfectly for an apocalypse, but of course the main MVP was Eco Lifestyle because that's where we get all the trash piles in the debug section. And as you can see, I did not hesitate to use those, they're everywhere. But I think it really adds to the post-apocalyptic mood, having so much trash and so many broken items lying around. I especially love the piles that have like broken bathtubs and fridges in them, or the broken cars. They're also really cool. I also made 2 little community areas to hang out. There's one in the broken library at the front with like a barbecue and a campfire, and there's one in the back with a basketball hoop and like some laundry stuff. I'm honestly really proud of this build. I think this might be genuinely one of my favorite builds I've ever done. And if you're enjoying it too, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, you can download this lot and many more of my builds on the Sims 4 gallery, and you'll find me there under evarotky with no space. This medical room is probably one of my favorite bits of the entire build. I've just never used any of these hospital items. They're a mix of get to work and cats and dogs from the vet clinic items. Anyway, I wanted to make this as realistic as possible, which is why I wanted to include a room for this purpose, even if the Sims probably won't use it, but I really love the idea of it. I'm afraid the speed build is coming to an end soon, but don't miss the upcoming tour so you can see the full lot all done. And let me know in the comments what you think of this post-apocalyptic shelter. I really hope you like it, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!